Welcome to another episode of What Did the Patients Say with Doctors Dana and Lauren Brindisi, sisters and owners of Carolina Functional Neurology Center. We are providing you answers to frequently asked questions and bringing you inside information from real conversations we have with patients on a daily basis. Our goal is to spread the truth on health and healing because we believe everyone deserves to know the answers.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of What Did the Patient Say with myself, Dr. Lauren Brindisi, and I am here with one of my patients, Kylie. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm very excited for you to share your story and your healing journey here with our viewers. So can you start by telling us what diagnosis or symptoms were you experiencing initially, and when did these start?
Yeah, well, at first, I didn't have a diagnosis because I couldn't find an explanation to what I was experiencing. I would have really random moments that felt unprovoked of tachycardia, dizziness. I would describe it as a big shift in my entire system just abruptly. And that turned into every now and then throughout the day to almost constantly being in this state of total dysregulation and not understanding why. And so that led to lots of questions, some, inconclusive ER visits. And I finally landed on dysautonomia and POTS. And learning about this condition, I just felt so seen in it. I felt like, oh, okay, there's language for this. My body isn't suddenly completely malfunctioning. There's actually a reason.
And when did all these symptoms start?
They started for me, so this is currently August 2023. The symptoms were very spotty here and there throughout the summer of 2022, last summer. But when the fall came, those symptoms hit me even harder, and they were every single day. And it was throughout the fall and winter that it was really, really debilitating.
And do you have any idea of how these symptoms started or what may have caused this?
What I do know is if I look at my own timeline, I ended up having COVID in May of 2022 and thought I was coming out of it okay. And then there were these unexplainable episodes that started to just show themselves sporadically. And then it was in the fall where it took a whole other turn.
And what kind of care did you receive prior to coming to CFNC?
So prior to CFNC, I had my fair share of inconclusive ER visits where, when you're with people who usually are there to help you, when they turn around and tell you, I'm so sorry, we don't know how to help you, we don't know what to tell you. That was really hard to feel. And visiting my general doctor, it was more so lots of questions about what I was experiencing, and I was only able to land on a beta blocker for the tachycardia. So it was simply just that medication and being told to take it easy before finding you all.
And how did you find us?
Through research, through Google, through researching dysautonomia, POTS, especially dysautonomia specialists. And then lo and behold, you all showed up and we were like, oh my goodness, like these are the people we have to contact.
That's great to hear. We do put a lot of effort into putting information out there, not just for people to find us if they think that our services would be a good fit, but
Right.
We know how many people just like you are out there searching for a diagnosis who may be experiencing some form of dysautonomia. And so we work really hard. So we're glad that you were able to actually find us that way. What was your experience at CFNC? So I know you started here in January of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I started in January. So January from August, the transformation just speaks for itself. And the treatment that I got to receive was incredibly inclusive to everything that I was experiencing. It was completely patient-centered. It was completely customized. And I remember in my beginning, I would come in some days struggling to walk, and you all would help me, like, turn me around. I'd be able to walk on my way out. And um, everything from the neuromodulation and the tilt table therapy to the red light therapy to the beamer therapy, it just became this incredibly restorative mix of multi-pronged approaches to everything that I was experiencing. Um, and it still blows my mind to think of how sensitive my system was, how delicate my system was when I first came in, and how volatile everything was for me. But what helped me so much is you weren't phased by that. You knew what to do, and you'd seen it before. And that was my first time ever being in the care with these kind of symptoms of people who really understood what was happening.
I'm happy to hear that. Are you okay if I say a little bit about?
Of course. Yeah.
So when Kylie came in, I had diagnosed her, working diagnosis of hyperadrenergic POTS. And that's because she was experiencing excessive tachycardia, higher blood pressure, adrenaline surges. So these episodes were happening out of nowhere. They didn't have to be related to orthostasis. She was experiencing orthostatic tachycardia, but she would also get these adrenaline surges where her heart rate, was creeping up 130, 40, 50, 60, just lying down. So this can be extremely traumatic for people. And if you are out there experiencing this, please know that there is help. And sometimes, just like Kylie said, her nervous system was extremely volatile. She might come in the middle of an episode. Something could have happened in the car. There was really no telling what might have set her off in these situations. And Kylie, I do applaud you for what I experienced when you were here in the office, because that can be extremely anxiety driven. And I feel like for how high your heart rate was, you would stay extremely calm.
Thank you. I feel like that reaction was more, it was just like that kind of survival in me of thinking, what would help is to not add to it. So I would try my best to breathe.
Yeah, and you're spot on. And that can be so challenging for people. So as time went on, Kylie went through several phases of treatment. And I do want to paint that picture for people, because we do see people in short term, but that's never really where it ends. Like, our first phase of treatment is just the start. And our goal is that we're making people more self-sufficient in managing these symptoms and eventually spreading those visits out. But for Kylie, you did have to go through several rounds of some intensive treatment before we started spreading those visits out. Right. So let's talk a little bit about kind of where you're at now. So how are you feeling these days?
So much better. I think one of the most amazing transformations for me was to return to exercising, some kind of form of exercising. And I do my exercise on a Pilates reformer, so I'm able to get a full body workout laying down, and that has been incredible. But along with that, it's completely the restoration of daily functionality. I'm able to get up from the couch and walk to another room, and to not have to plan for that other room I'm going to need a chair, I'm going to need to rest and stuff like that. It's just this completely available, accessible functionality to me again that has been so incredible to feel. And it also has given me a completely different outlook on it. I'm practicing gratitude every day, because every day I'm able to function is something that I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, very beautifully said. I feel like people who don't have dysautonomia, we all really take for granted how easy it is to just stand up and walk somewhere.
Right.
And when you start experiencing these symptoms, just those day-to-day activities can start to become very challenging. So tell me, what is your treatment, or tell the audience, what is your treatment and your maintenance care looking like now?
Yeah, now of course, it's those foundational parts of lots of water, like making sure I'm properly hydrated, making sure I'm properly nourished with my meals, but then also that gentle exercise by something like a reformer, where I'm being able to get in that exercise, get in that strength training. I'll work out with like little weights, like around my wrists or around my ankles, to just build strength. And I'm grateful to have access to a red light at home, um, and a beamer mat at home, and getting on those daily too has been something that is, I know how special it is. I know what a privilege that is. And it's also been just as instrumental in the whole maintenance process.
That's great to hear. So Kylie's visits are becoming fewer and far between. We
Mhm.
do not see her in the office all that often, every couple weeks or so, but we're continuing to spread that out, as every time she comes in, she tells me she's continuing to move in a better direction. So that's our goal, is that we just keep an eye on things and make sure, you continue to be more self-sufficient in managing this, and that we're here if you need anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so grateful for it. I think to myself, if I could tell, I'll say December Kylie, me back in December of 2022, if I could tell her where she would be in August and even under a year, thanks to the treatment from CFNC and the help I've received, December me would be blown away, because I won't ever forget having to. I even needed to use a mobility aid just to get around, and now that mobility aid it's in the house, but it's not needed like it was prior. So it's a transformation that I will forever be thankful for.
Thank you so much, Kylie, for sharing. Your story is definitely an inspiration. I know you've been on our Instagram before, so if you haven't seen some of her before and after videos, go ahead and scroll through and try to find those. It is quite a transformation. So thank you again for coming on. For our listeners, thank you for listening. If you have any other questions, please let us know.